Well, hello everyone. My name is Elizabeth, and today I'm going to give a presentation about the book called The Sweet Hereafter. And I'm going to use moral reasoning to analyze the chapter 1 of this book. So first, there are four aspects of moral reasoning, and I'm going to choose the second one, Kantianism, which is the obligation-based theory. So first, let me introduce what is Kantianism. Kantianism are the deonto deontological, deontological, and are and revolving entirely around duty rather than emotions or end goals. So Kantianism is talking about the duty around the situation for the main character, for the people. And in this book, it is the Dolores. And next is all actions are performed in accordance with some underlying maximum or principle, which are different from each other. Then Kant showed that many of our common sense view of what is good or bad conform to his system, but denied that any action performed for reasons other than rational actions can be good. So, so in short, her system of their theory is that everything happened for a reason, and this reason is accepted by most of the people. For example, saving someone who is drawing simple out of a great pity for them is not a moral good act. So somebody who saved these people is not like a moral good act, but it's just feel a great pity for them. Then I divide the first chapter into four aspects. The weather problem and the Dolores career and the relationship between Dolores and her children. And finally is Billy Ansel. First is the weather change. For the first time when she stepped off their house, and it is said it was in first light, and as I said, blowing snow by then. But when I started my road that morning, when I left the house, it was still dark, of course, and no snow falling. So this is the first places that talking about weather. And after that, there was enough light, a product grayness, so that I could by this time see the lower sky, and I knew that it was going to snow. So for her, we can see that he knew they were going to snow, and there are enough light for her to see what's going on the road, and the sky is gray, so we can imagine that weather there. And after that, it has started to snow. Light wind blow flakes falling like beads of wood ash. So it's happened on the road when she was picking up the children by her school bus. Uh, it is start to a little snow. And after that, she said, I got to get moving ASAP before the snow blows. Yes, it will snow someday, 6 to 8 inches by nightfall. Well, as we can see, 6 to 8 inches by nightfall is not a small snow. It probably be a big snow. So the climate change, the weather changed a lot on, in this morning from first light to a little bit snow. And after that, the cloud of snow falling between us, the slow, so which means it started to snow a little. And after that, the snow was falling lightly now, hard dry flakes floating on the breeze, and there are enough daylight that I could have shut off my headlights. But I didn't, even though they aren't helping me see the road any better. I think there's one thing I need to mention that although she could shut off the headlights, but she didn't because she's a responsible driver and she wants to take care of the child on the bus. So she wants to see the clearly in front of the bus. And after that, although the snow was blowing in the feathery waves by then, the road was still dry and dark, easy to see. And I swept the weed and drove straight on as if nothing had happened. Well, at that time, it was almost reached the school, I think. And apparently, the sky has snow uh, very much, I guess. So for her, I think there's no necessary to drive very fast. I will talk about driving fast later. So the sky is so much for this part. And after that, I'm going to talk about dolorous driving. Um, First, we can define the first sentence by natural. I'm a really careful person and not overly optimistic. And especially when it comes to machinery or um, machinery and tools. So that happened before when she started to pick up the students by her school bus. She checked everything, every tool that she used to make sure that it is very safe to pick up students, and it also shows kind of responsibility of her job. And after that is that I always able to park the bus at home overnight where I could look after in a proper way, which means I think she's a really like a kind person and make sure that the school bus is safe enough. So I guess she really loves her job very much, and she tried her best to do this job well. And after that, it said, beyond the Otis and over the crest of this hill, the road drops fairly fast, and I made three stops in short order, so I barely got the bus out of first gear before having to hit the brakes and pull over again. I think there's two reasons to analyze it, he why she did not use the first gear. First is because she have drove for several decades of years and she's very full of like experience, so she doesn't have to care too much about it. And the second reason, I think maybe because it is winter and in the morning, so maybe she didn't pay more attention on it. And after that, it is sad. Um, it was so low, I figured that the new snow would be dry and hard, and was not concerned that I haven't put chains on the tires that morning. I think that's a very important reason uh, to the to the accident, to the traffic accident directly. Um, but also there's the reason why she didn't put the chains on the tire is after this sentence, I knew I would be needing them for afternoon run, though, and groaned slightly to myself. Putting on chains on the cold is cold too tedious and hard on the hands. You have to remove your gloves. I think that's the reason could explain why she doesn't want to put chains because it's really cold outside in the winter in the morning, and also she has to remove the gloves. So it's kind of a little waste of time for her to think that. And after that, she said, sometimes there were downstate skiers up earlier on the way on weekend. It's a Friday, and there are some young urban type drivers that's not used to coming up suddenly on a school bus stopped by the side of road to pick up children. And I think this one of the dangerous point, which means that day maybe there are something very dangerous happened, and this is the first one. And there are a second one. Second one is a red sack that seemed to have bored out of some of now nowhere, and it had come around the bend in front of me and struck and hadn't slowed a bit. The second dangerous point is a red step. The driver doesn't notice the school bus, and he drives very fast, I guess. So that makes the situation very dangerous and difficult. And after that now that there was any traffic up on this road, especially this early, but when you drive a school bus, you have to think of these things. Which means because Dolores is a school bus driver, so she needs to pay attention to that. But after that, it is that you have to anticipate the worst. I think that means as a school bus driver, you need to always prepare the worst result for everything if everything happens. And next is nothing reckless. You understand, nothing illegal. 50, 55 is all. So as we discussed the last week, 50, 55 is around 5 miles per hour. It is really fast for a school bus driver, but there's also a reason for it. Um, if I happen to be running a few minutes later, that was the only time when I could make up for it, which means because she is a school bus driver and she doesn't want the students on her school bus get late for school. So this is a very good time for her to save time. So she sometimes has to drive that fast to save time.